Hello, Leo. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a general read, and we'll be dealing with what their intentions are towards you. Of course, everything may not resonate, so take what does and leave the rest. And for more tarot readings after this, please check out my wife's channel at THEYRE Tarot. She's review as well. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on. Hmm. Once again, it's that same song. I forget who it's by. I think it might be the Ambassadors. Unsteady. Right away, Leo, with the music again. Um, okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. I say that, and then here comes the you know who jumping out. I don't know what this is about. The lyrics in that song are if you love me, don't let go. The thing about, yeah, the thing about that kind of energy, um, it sounds romantic. It sounds like a love song. It sounds like, emotional. It's got some depth to it. At the same time, is it fitting or appropriate for the situation? The whole energy of unsteady, which is, where I kind of get that energy of unsteady. Hold on to me, don't let go. If you love me, don't let go. I'm a little unsteady. This energy clearly that they do not, with that devil energy, they clearly do not want to let you go, Leo. They clearly do not want to give you up. Um, but for some reason, when it comes to this example, I've used it before about the bird in the hand. There's a bird in a cage. What I'm showing you, the bird in the cage, and everyone's looking at the bird like, "Why are you in a cage? Um, why have you caged yourself?" Like, a bird. They kind of what are they that other saying? A bird in a cage is a sad thing to witness because they have wings, and they can be flying around doing other things. So to kind of cage or restrict or kind of like entrap or hold someone, I'm not going to say it any other words, but to hold someone and kind of like restrict them and limit them and kind of like no, 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 like kind of enclose them. It's a sad thing to witness. And so, like I said, a bird in the hand, you don't want to squeeze it so tight that it stops tweeting. Like, no, you want to gently hold and caress. But the bird also needs to feel free enough to spread its wings and do whatever it's going to do. That's a bird. It's its nature. It's going to do what it needs to do. You see how I was flying around up there and I came back down to tell you all about it? They don't want to lose you, Leo. They don't want to lose you. At the same time, I don't know why there's a consideration of have they already lost you? They don't want to lose you, but they're also considering have I already lost Leo? And I kind of feel like this energy of like whatever is going on back and forth, the dialogue between the two of you. clearly you're aware of each other. Clearly you're communicating, you're talking, you're having that open dialogue. But it almost feels like they're like they kind of respond with like they just don't know what else can be done. They just don't know what else they can, what can be done, and because of that energy of just not knowing, it's creating, unfortunately, that toxicity. It's kind of like saying overdoing something can actually be worse or more detrimental than sometimes taking a step back and doing nothing. Huh. Let's see where this one goes. Let's see where this one goes. For example, just because, for example, like with, I don't know, like plants or bushes or flowers, um, the flowers aren't growing. The flowers aren't blooming. The bush is not looking thicker, fuller, more. It doesn't have more volume. And so what happens is to kind of like overdo that would be to flood the flowers every single day and overwater the flowers. And before you know it, it's like, well, how come it's doing more damage? How come they're like wilting even faster than before? And sometimes it's just a matter of allowing kind of nature to take its course and just allowing things to kind of dry out. Thank you.
The sugar, I don't know what happened. It's stuck at the bottom, I think, because this time I kept them in the fridge.
No, it's okay.
But
No, I like it because sometimes when I sip it through the straw,
you
the
get it
sugar
here.
crystals,
Yeah.
it tastes like sugar candy.
Okay. Well, there's that.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's really cool. You like it?
Yeah.
I do too.
Is it Halloween? Is it just a phase? Or is it forever? Thank you, man. You look good today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hanging in there.
Yeah. I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
Just hanging out. Is he doing okay? Or is he
Yeah,
being a little
he's
fussy?
an hour early,
Yeah.
bugging me for food. Anyway, he'll hang in there with me. So.
Okay.
All right.
I love you. You got this.
Thank you.
I will give them that though, Leo. They are trying. They are trying. Let's see where this one kind of goes. Yeah. So in kind of like in that example, what well, probably not plants and flowers is a good example to go with when it comes to the situation. They're different. Nature, like I said, kind of allowing nature to take its course. In this kind of situation with that lover's energy, because that's what I was showing you about, making the funny message about the bird. Um, is it better, like I just kind of consider the options, like is it better to have or be with someone that just won't do shit at all, that'll just kind of like, yeah, whatever, fuck it, and just let everything kind of just crash and crumble and fall apart? Or is it better to be with someone that maybe just be like, you go overboard? You kind of consider the options out there. It's sort of like, damn, in today's in today's day and age and world, to come across someone that's just kind of like they just kick their feet up and they expect life to do everything for them instead of grinding, work themselves down to the bone with the knuckles. You kind of understand the ethic, whether it's workaholic or whether it's just pure out laziness and sloth. Um, you kind of have the perspective of kind of energetically pick and choose. Which would you rather deal with? Would you rather deal with someone that'll work their knuckles to the bone for you, or would you rather deal with someone who just kicks their feet up and won't do jack shit for you? And then there's also somewhere like in between. Um, I understand at the same time delicacy too. You don't want someone who's like handling flowers or a rose bush that will work themselves to the bone. I don't know, using like a tree axe to just snip some roses, to snip some flowers for the vase or something. It's a matter of understanding the right tools for the right situation and understanding how to work with one another and kind of how it could be. Well, like I said, energetically, Leo, what they're kind of showing me is this energy of like, hey, at least they're willing to try. It's sort of like in those situations of, are you just going to give up and walk away and be like, well, I fucking tried, and on the other end of that, someone else is like, well, they took the trash out, but everything else in the house needs to be taken care of. Or someone that's like, wow, they fucking did. They took care of it. Took care of the cars. They took care of the house. They did this. They did that. They did that. They did that. And then sort of like turn around and it's like, okay. Or be in one of those situations where, unfortunately, if it's something more deeper rooted, they go, let's just say overboard. They do absolutely everything, but then there's like that one thing that they didn't do, and that's the thing that you fucking nitpick or someone nitpicks. It's just kind of like, but you kind of focus on the one so-called negative. It's kind of like saying pick and choose. You can't have everything you want. You can't have everything Burger King style your way, especially when it comes to people, relationships, connections, and situations. It's kind of like pick and choose. That's the part about flexibility that is definitely necessary in any type of relationship or connection. Otherwise, you're so square that you may become a tyrant. Like the inflexibility becomes a situation where it's like, you are so blunt, I don't even want to deal with you because nothing gets through. You're kind of set and you're kind of fixed in your ways and you ain't going to change. And what's the point about being in a relationship if we're meant to grow with one another? That means we're meant to change with one another. And if someone is unwilling to change, then it's kind of just, that's that. Um, this is an energy of, yeah, like I said, there's an energy of, and then you can kind of, just as an example, like little side rants. Then there's also the people that'll just talk your ear off. And they won't back it up with any walk or any action. And then there's people that just don't say one word and they just do everything. It's just a matter of perspective, Leo, is what I'm kind of getting at here with these little rants. Um, they're emphasizing like they're kind of following the message that I just gave about like the house. They're like, I'll fucking do everything. I'll do anything. I'll do everything. Just tell me what energetically, and sometimes it is this simple. Just tell me what I got to do. And there's also this energy of like, again, it's a situation that comes down to it's like, well, I don't want to have to tell them that. But then sometimes, in order to make things work, you need that instruction. Sometimes you need that communication. It's kind of like just say it, just do it, just out with it, and things will move forward. And sometimes it's that easy. Imagine if getting what you want was just as simple as just simply asking, but someone may have too much, and unfortunately, energetic with that strength card that's not here yet, too much pride or too much ego just to simply ask because they think they're too good enough. They just think it should be, in a sense of entitlement, just handed to them without even having to say or lift one finger. It's just kind of differences in perspective. The younger generation, they feel like everything should just be handed to them without them having to work for it, them having to speak up for it, them having to do anything for it. And that's understandable because they're younger, because they don't know any different, because they're dependent on someone else. Until you start kind of putting that, those boundaries and that distance and start teaching them some things where it's like, no, you're going to work for your dinner today. No, you're going to work for your allowance today. No, you're going to start doing things and going through these actions and these motions to start earning and start lifting your weight. You got to earn it. Simply asking is not a sense of like how do I say this? This energy of feeling like someone may not have to ask. Like, I don't want to have to ask. That's pride. That's pride fucking with you. Imagine if your whole entire life could change overnight because you simply asked someone for help. Or you just let someone know where you're at emotionally, or you let someone know where you're at mentally. Imagine that. The world would be a much different place. Um, but at the same time, if there's a situation where someone is willing to go above and beyond for you, and energetically speaking, that's still not enough. Like, what is it that's missing? What is it that's missing? As I'm picking my tattoo, the scab. People can at the same time, people can only do so much. And then there are energies and people that will go above. Like I said, they'll go above and beyond to do absolutely everything they possibly can to make sure that everything is okay and everything's good and everything's set. And that's that, like, once again, that's that solar energy. That's that sun energy. I'll give. I will work myself down to the bone. Um, at the same time, what happens when you get down to the bone? That's a bona fide person. They're bona fide. The problem is, here's the Four of Swords. They're just a skeleton. Like, fuck, I need a rest. I need a break. It's like I've given the shirt off my back. I've given, I still got skin on the edge of my seat because I don't know where this roller coaster was going. Um, I gave it all. I gave everything. Yeah. So that kind of leaves me to wonder what was missing. What was that missing piece? What is the missing piece between the two of you? Because I'm looking at both of your energies shifting together. That's the thing. I'm looking at this energy of things shifting and things happening and things changing. So what's that missing piece? No, I get it. No, trust me, we'll get there. I like that. It's interesting. The card was standing like this, straight up, without anything balancing it on either side. Like, remember, Leo, about the energy about the house of cards, like playing around with cards? This one was standing just straight up like that, without anything on either side. How does that even happen? I'm trying to recreate it. Don't know. Don't know. Why that? Even trying to recreate something as close to a T as you can possibly do, it's never going to come out exact. That's the thing. Um, excuse me. Let's see. Excuse me. This comes down to, it is what it is. Unfortunately, what they're kind of pinpointing calling it out here. I do appreciate the information, cross watcher. Like I said, I do understand that we will get there. Appreciation and acknowledgement. That's what it comes down to. That's that missing piece or that key is appreciation. If you have someone that's if you have someone that's willing to give you the world, here's the thing too. You need to have that conversation as well. Value, and I've used this example before too. When it comes to love language, loving someone is loving someone the way they need to be loved, not loving someone the way you want to love them. Do you understand? Loving someone is loving them the way you loving someone is loving someone the way they need to be loved, not the way you want to love them. It's kind of like saying, I don't know, for example, if someone's love language is, I don't know, receiving gifts, or what's the other one? Words of affirmation. I'm not too sure what all these are, but acts of service, those types of things. Um, if someone's love language is, let's just say, gifts, and you're over here giving them reassurance, they're going to be like, that's good, that's nice and all, but I'm pretty sure we're close enough to having this conversation about love language where like what really what kind of sort of things I do really appreciate and what really kind of lets me know that you do value me and you do appreciate me. Like I said, if someone's just kind of like they take the trash out and their love language is words of affirmation, and they don't get like a thank you, I really appreciate that, I really do appreciate that. If they don't get that, the simple act of just taking out the trash, they look at the other person like you can't even acknowledge or say thank you. And once again, energetically speaking, that goes right back to the root of entitlement, where do you have so much pride and so much ego where you somehow, and I don't understand this in relationships, somehow you feel like it's stooping low or lowering your value to not even be able to speak someone else's love language? Like what kind of pride? Here we go. What kind of pride is that? No, I'm going to sit here by myself and it's all about me. That's that energetic selfishness. They've given me the world. They've given me the house, the cars, the dogs, the cats, the kids. They've given me everything. But there's still that one thing that's missing. That's entitlement. Feeling as if you deserve everything absolutely the way in a square you want it. Haven't you seen those rom-coms? No romance comedy movie is ever the checklist of the perfect man or the perfect woman of I get absolutely every single fucking thing I want on my checklist. Otherwise, there wouldn't be rom-com movies to make them funny and hilarious and comedic and be like, damn, that's relatable. Damn, everyone, like, you understand this energy. It's the differences between two people that make life a very an adventure. It makes it an experience. It makes it worth living because it's like I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do next, but hey, I'm enjoying myself, and it's I got love for them. Or it's I know everything about them. I get everything I want, and then what? Like you see where I'm going with this? What I'm saying is it comes down to acknowledgement, appreciation, gratitude, thankfulness. I don't know what the two of you are working through, but I clearly see work being done. And that's where I'm like, how can so much work be being done? And it's like, I'm wondering like, where is it going? Love languages, Leo. There's that Ace of Swords. No, it is what it is. It is what it is, Leo. And that's like I said, that's one of those conversations that it might be uncomfortable to have that conversation of like, well, what is your love language? Acts of service, gift giving, words of affirmation. It may be difficult, but it's like you're gonna have to be grown enough and mature enough to have that conversation. where it is what it is. It's kind of like, well, I'm not into that. So in other words, what you're saying is you're not into me. Got it. Because I'm not asking you about just that. I'm talking about us here. Like, let's not kind of like right there. You got that split and that separation, that fracture in the connection. That's not my thing. I'm not your thing. Then why are we together here? Yeah, there's the Ace of Cups. There's the love. Unfortunately, yeah, energetically speaking, this is like a split. Um, it's a lot to deal with. I see that. It's a lot to deal with. Um, yeah, it's a lot to deal with. Seven of Swords is on top of the deck, but I'm going to ignore it. Um, yeah, I think we got to it. I think we got to. I think we got to that key, huh? Um, that missing piece. That missing piece. You know, I understand that. If you're in a situation or circumstance or relationship where it's kind of like they do absolutely, you know, like I said, they do absolutely everything, but there's just that one thing. It's like, okay, there's that one thing missing. And once again, you have to have that conversation of is that one thing that's missing their love language? Because if it is their love language and that's that key or that missing piece, what else have you been doing? You've been trying to overcompensate and kind of counterweight and counterbalance the situation in these other ways, which it's like, I'll love you and I'll do anything for you, but I won't do that one thing. And it's like, why? Why? Ask yourself why. You love them, right? They love you, right? They'll do anything for you, right? You'll do anything for them, right? But you won't do that. Why? How come? What is it? And if it really is energetically coming down to a deal breaker, then maybe they're just not the right one. Maybe they're just not the right one. If it is that strong of a situation, maybe they're just not the right one. Because that kind of says something about one person individually than it does the relationship at that point. Like Jill, like I said, for the perfect example, it's just words of affirmation. Like I do so much and I can't even get a thank you, or I can't even get gratitude, or you know, I can't even get like an appreciative like nod or like a comforting, you know, touch or affection, or like damn. That makes a very cold world. That makes a very cold world where it's like you're not with a partner or you're not in a relationship. You're with like a servant. And then at that point it's like you want that kind of relationship, go to a restaurant and order yourself a dinner alone. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Life is to be experienced, not avoided. Bye.